Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Saturday. How you been? How was your week? Good evening, Corey. What time is it where you're at? Good morning, Baker. How you been? It's been a while. I decided to go live this morning. I did one yesterday morning, but it's been a while. Kind of missed doing it. I woke up kind of early today. It's only 6 o'clock. Good morning, Tammy. Usually I'm up at this time anyway. 6 p.m. Where you at, Corey? Australia? Maybe the U. Where you at? I think Australia. I forget. How's everyone been? Um, Again, if you ordered a short shirt, uh, it should be on their way. Yeah, I thought I remember that. Hey, you're from Australia. Um, they should be on their way. Yeah. Got some other. Spoke to my brother yesterday, and he said his and my dad, and they both said they shipped. So we should be getting them soon. I'm gonna look it up now, see if it's. I kind of want to start the other one, but it was kind of a bit of a struggle with that last one. But just trying to keep it organized with everybody, and when you're trying to when there's 200 some people involved, 300 people on the shirt, right? So everybody that obviously gave a name. I don't think everyone bought a shirt, so hopefully they seen it. I mean, I posted it a bunch of times, but I think there was like my wife counted like 279 names, I think, on the back of that shirt. So it was a lot to keep track of. So hopefully, if you wanted one, you got it. I might do a third one as well for the people that didn't get on that last shirt. So I said in the other live yesterday, I got to go back and find the damn. I got to go back and find the one post with all the people that wanted to be on the next shirt, and it can be some of the same names as well. It don't really matter to me, as long as I can fit them all in there. I come up with another solution on how to get more names on there. So yeah, it's a lot of names here. Let me see if I can pull it up here. And then see, here's another thing I learned from doing it. When I made the shirt, right, and then what made me mad was I made the shirt, and then when I went back to Bonfire is what I used. I don't know if ever that's the website. I don't know if you ever heard of it besides now, but um, I put all the names on it, right? But then when I clicked on so I had it all organized, and when we got it all organized and on the shirt and had it where we wanted, and then I like saved the shirt or whatever, and then I presented it to you guys. When I did that, the you couldn't read the names on the back, right? So when you went to order it, you couldn't read the names off their website. I'm sure if anyone's seen that, they know what I'm talking about. And then when the campaign ended, they considered it a campaign, right? That's why the shirts didn't ship right after you ordered, because it waits forever the campaign to end, and then the shirts will ship. So they ship them all at once, I guess, because they make them all at once in like a batch or whatever. So yeah, I guess I could do better explaining that. Like I don't know, it's kind of I did it one time 3 years ago, so it's new to me as well. But it's a lot of information, and so I'm trying to find that. It'll probably take me forever. But once you could read the names, it made it so much better. And like, that's another thing that I was frustrated with, because would have been a lot easier, right? I had them all written down on that paper, if you remember, and they were hard to read too. A lot of people couldn't read them, and then it just got to be a mess. I'm trying to find a picture of that. What's up, Adam? How are you? Duvall. When I seen that name Duvall, I have family members with the last name Duvall. I was like, threw me off guard there. All right, so I'm going to present this to you. So this is what I got when the shirt was finally printed, right? I was like, wow, I wish I would have had this before. This is what they showed me. So there, I mean, might be hard for you guys, or if your screen ain't that big, but I mean, there you can see all the names, right? I mean, I can read them perfectly. But when you went to order the shirt, you couldn't read the names. I don't know, it made me pissed me off. But yeah, so, and then next time when I design it, you see, I might do a little different here. I might be able to get more names on it. But it's a whole process, man. It's a learning experience. So yeah, I'm going to share that with you. It's frustrating. And this time when I get the names, I'm going to like type them up or something. You know, I'm not great on the computer. Instead of handwriting, I'm type them up on the computer, and then you can be able to read them better, you know. But the thing is with Facebook and shit, I don't know who sees the post, you know. I'm like suppressed all the time. So then people miss it. It's it's very hard to organize if you ever tried it. But yeah, something cool, different. But enough about the shirts, right? How's everyone doing? I haven't watched a good video in a while on YouTube about mental health. Anyone have anything good to share? Hi, Debbie. How are you? On the 28th of June, I'll be 6 months sober. So that's awesome, dude. Hello. Welcome. Where's everybody from? I'm in Pennsylvania. I love answering that question because there's people all over the world, and it's kind of it's kind of amazing and sad at the same time that so many people struggle, right? But it just goes to show you how big of a illness this really is. You know, it don't matter where you live, don't matter the money you make, don't matter what you do, where you came from. Um, Everybody knows somebody, right? Everybody knows somebody. You're in the hospital? What are you in the hospital for? What happened? Where's that hospital located? Well, we're glad you're still here with us. What's going on? Morning, Chris. You just had enough. Enough of what? Enough of life? Enough of the situation you're in? Enough of stuff, right? Maybe that's what you had enough of. Like maybe sometimes when we say we have enough, it's just enough of the situation we're in. Um, Maybe it's not really a bad life, right? Maybe it's just a bad time in our life. Maybe it's a bad experience that we never dealt with. Maybe the trauma that we experienced, we never found the right resources to get better. In my opinion, to fix our mental illness or what has been bothering us for years, maybe as a child or even maybe in our adult lives, we have to find the right tools to fix the issue, right? Um, Oh, you live in South Africa? What's so crappy about it? There's got to be something that's some things we can't control, right? Some things we can control. Well, there you go, right? So now it's not you're in the. It's kind of like what I just said, right? Like you just lost your mom three years ago, and you're or 3 months ago, and you're the only child, right? So obviously this is new. This is something you never experienced. You're going through grief, right? And everyone. Again, I'm not a doctor or a professional, but this is just my opinion on it. Um, I mean, here you go. I mean, you're about to answer. How do I carry on? See, that's the thing with grief. I still struggle with, right? I lost a brother 5 years ago to cancer. Um, I have four brothers. There's five of us, and I lost a brother, one of them to cancer. So it's not the same as a mother, right? Um, so you're going through grief right now, and you can't really tell someone how to grieve, right? Because we all grieve differently. That's your mother. How can I tell you how to grieve? I never lost my mother. I still have my mom, thank God, right? And every relationship is different. So your relationship with your mother and the relationship with everyone else's mother might be totally different. So grief counseling, I would recommend. You know, I'm sure you were probably pretty close with your mother if you're the only child, right? You just got to remember it's not your fault. Um, got to remember we all take a turn at it, right? No one gets out of this life alive. It's just part of the process, and that in itself is hard to deal with. I dealt with that all my life, right? Death and dying and the unknown. Um, that has bothered me for years. I'm kind of at peace with it now. But death is one thing we'll all experience, right? All right, Corey, have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. She was my background through thick and thin. Yeah. Yeah, T.J. Harris, you're right, man. It's a great conversation to have. You know what I mean? So, Mark, Ireland, from Ireland, that's awesome. I was just having this conversation with my partner yesterday. I lost my mother 28 months ago. Still grieving. There's no timeline for. Yeah, man. Um, there's no hurry either, right? It'll listen. From my experience with my brother, it never gets easy. It just gets a little easier. You know what I mean? It'll never be easy, dude. In my opinion. I mean, if you love the person, right? I mean, and they were part of your life, right? So, like, when you think of brother and you think of mother, you think of father or sister or whatever, uncle, aunt. Not everyone's impacted because they don't have that relationship with them. You know what I mean? Not everyone has the same relationship with their family members as everyone else. You when you say mom to some people, that could mean nothing. I mean, some people have a mother, right? We all have mothers. We all have a mother and a father, or we wouldn't be here. But not everyone has, that same connection with them. So you're starting off with that. Not everyone has that same relationship. Some people care less about their parents. You know what I mean? Some parents could care less about their kids. So when it comes to grief, man, it's on all different levels. Different relationships. Some people live with their parents. You know what I mean? Some people, some people's parents live with them. You know, as they get older, the kid takes them in. You know what I mean? Because they can't live with their own. So I mean, that's a whole different ball game compared to what some people deal with, right? Some people don't even see their parents. So I mean, you know what I mean? There's levels to this shit. Just like mental health, there's levels to it. It's not the same for everybody. That's what makes it so difficult. Difficult. So, Mark, where are you from? Where's your blog? Can you explain that a little bit? I don't know if I've ever seen your page before. Maybe, but I'll follow you, dude. It's okay. It's okay. Or maybe I do already. I don't know. It's okay. Not to feel. Oh, it's the same dude. My bad, buddy. I didn't even notice that. My bad. Uh, Shit, dude. It's still early in the morning. It's the same Mark. Just you have two pages. I take it. So do I. Right? You have a personal page. And then your blog. What do you blog about? You want to share some information on it? Maybe some other people will follow you as well. You know, the more people that do this type of thing, the better, right? The more people that get involved, the better. Um, Obviously, I mean, I couldn't do this without everyone that's here. You know, not only that, but then you deal with Facebook as well, right? And trying to reach people on Facebook, it's kind of weird. I don't know if I will ever figure out the algorithm, but it's not fun. Um, Facebook can be very annoying. I just completed a week 1 of chemo and radiotherapy, feeling tired but kicking in. Oh man, how you been? Well, yeah, I forgot you just started that. I haven't been live in a while, man. It's awesome, dude. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'll follow your page, dude, and I can share it. Grief for me is very hard. Has never been alone. Also, doggy dude. Is that supposed to be whining? What's pinning mean? Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you. Best of luck on your journey. You just blog about everyday life, or what exactly is it like? I don't mean to be ignorant because I don't understand really what a blog is. Is it like a journal type thing, or is it all video when you say blogging? I'm not too up on the ways of the internet sometimes. But I believe I'm right. Blogging is like video. I wish I could do more videos, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to say. Oh no, no, lots of different conference. All right. Anybody got plans for today? It was getting very humid where I live in Pennsylvania, and then we had a storm come through, and it cooled it down a little. So that's good. I'm at an event outside today, so hopefully it's not too damn hot. No one likes to. I don't like the heat. I've been working outside for the last all my life, but as a kid, I worked on a vegetable farm and shit. But my job's outside, maintenance, road maintenance. Been, almost 21 years at the same place, so I've been through all the weather. Yeah, where are you going? Father's Day, yeah. It's that is tomorrow. Oh, out here and a weekend OT, man. Yeah, dude. It's where you make the money, right? Pretty sad. I mean, I don't know. You might make decent money, you know. That's another thing. Money, right? What's money to people, right? Money can be anything. Success is different for everybody. So I can't really say that, you know, you need or you don't make money during the week, but it's always good to make that extra overtime, right? Is that what you do? You build, I'm reading this right. You build airplane wings. So if I'm flying on my next trip and the wing breaks, I know who to contact. TJ Harris. I write that down. So if the wing breaks or falls apart, and I make it out, I'm coming for TJ. What is PNW? I never met anyone that made. He said, "Talk to the janitor. Blame it on him, huh?" Talk to the door. That's fucking funny. Uh, oh, Pacific Northwest. He said, "Talk to the door guy." I'll hit up the janitor about that. Hey, bud, I know you clean the shitter, but why did this wing fall apart? Why did this wing fall apart, man? He'll take me to the landscaper. It's funny, dude. You know, the other day, speaking of airplanes and 737s, I don't know if that the plane was. Do you remember that story where that dude? It's kind of sad, but it's kind of, I mean, it is sad, but it's kind of crazy at the same time. Well, that guy worked for the airline. Anyone hear about this story? He worked for the airline, right, company. I don't know what he did. He wasn't like, I don't know what he did. Anyway, he like jumped. Somehow he got an airplane, right? And he started flying the airplane. Where he learned how to fly airplanes from playing video games. Now, if anyone knows this story and I'm missing something up or I messed something up, let me know. So he takes his fucking big ass airplane, right? Commercial airplane, 740, 37 or whatever it was. And he learns to drive. And you can hear the radio. You can hear the radio conversation, right? With traffic control or whatever. And I mean, it was sad because the guy ended up taking his life, right? But for some reason, he wanted to steal this plane and fly it. And what he did was he was doing like barrel rolls and everything in this damn plane. And people called it in, you know, because he was real close to like traffic and he was dipping down and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I'm not. He's like, no, I don't plan. Like, oh, you can land this. You got a spot for you to land. He's like, no, I don't plan on landing. Anyone ever hear that story? Um, yeah, it's pretty sad, man, but it's fucking wild at the same time. It just made me think of that. Like he stole this plane, and it's kind of crazy because he never even flew one before. He just played video games. So I don't know how. I guess video games are pretty realistic. They must be. But yeah, it's a sad story. I forget. It was out west, I think, out west, western in the U.S. I'm gonna find it right now. Crazy, crazy story. It's sad though, right? Because he ended his life. I don't even understand. Um, I was in Seattle. Um, yeah, it's pretty sad. Yeah, you never heard of it? Here, I'll play it for you guys, man. Just made me think of that. And actually, I think I was talking about the story the other day with somebody as well.
Of safety products.
Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip, you think?
Witnesses.
Let me know if you can hear this. I'm gonna try to turn this up real quick. You hear what he just said? He said, "Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip? You think?" It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna start from the beginning.
Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip, you think?
Witnesses on the ground didn't know what to think when they saw two F-15s from Portland pursuing Horizon.
So yeah, the F-15s are trying to I guess they were going to either shoot her down or make sure he didn't do anything crazy, right?
Air passenger plane over Puget Sound, August of 2018. At the controls, 4-year Horizon employee Richard Russell, assigned to handle baggage and cargo with no flying experience.
There you go. He was a baggage and cargo guy. Didn't even fly planes.
In constant communication with air traffic control.
Just a broken guy, got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now.
An hour and 13 minutes after takeoff, the FBI says he intentionally crashed into an island south of Seattle and died. What we haven't been able to show you until now is how Richard Russell stole the plane. Surveillance video obtained by Coin6 shows Russell in a dark t-shirt, backpack, and flip-flops checking in through employee security at SeaTac just after 2:30 in the afternoon, 5 hours.
Yeah, TJ, it is crazy, man. It's I don't know. It's just weird, man.
Before he steals the plane. As he goes through the metal detector, you can read the words on his back. The sky's not the limit. He collects his scam belongings from the conveyor, and then he leaves through a door, headed out to do his job. An outside camera shows the plane Russell would steal, a Horizon Q400 owned by Alaska Air. At the top left of your screen, just before 7 p.m., you see Russell arrive in a tow vehicle. He drives behind the plane and reappears at the nose. That's where he attempts to attach the tug. For unknown reasons, he would do that 2 more times, driving away and back to the plane over the next 18 minutes.
Maybe he was rethinking it, right? I mean, that makes total sense to me. You know, you ever second guess yourself? Maybe that's what he was doing, you know?
After his second trip, another camera captures Russell driving through a cargo area. Again, for unknown reasons. You see him get off the tug and run out of sight. 8 minutes later, Russell is back, driving the tow vehicle to the front of the plane again, where he attached the tow bar. Several minutes pass until you can see Russell inside the cockpit. The FBI says he was familiar with the checklist of actions for.
If you're just joining, this gentleman worked for the airline and steals the plane and ends up taking his life, but he never even flew a plane before, right? So that's where we're at. He worked there as a baggage guy, but he never flew.
Starting an airplane, and he begins the sequence to bring the engines to life. The process takes him 3 minutes until the propellers start to turn. Russell then leaves the plane, gets back in the tow vehicle, and as Russell pushes the plane back, you can see at the far right of the screen another employee pulling cargo or luggage trailers pass by, oblivious to what is happening. Russell turns the passenger plane towards the taxiway. He leaves the tow vehicle and disconnects the unmanned plane with engines running.
I never seen this footage before. The only footage I ever seen was when he just like, I don't even know what I seen. When he just like takes over the plane. Oh, I kind of can't even remember. Well, this is 6 years ago.
Drives the tow vehicle out of the way. As soon as he's disconnected, you can see the plane start to creep forward. Moments later, Russell reappears, running towards the left propeller. He pulls down the stairs, climbs into the cockpit, and stops the plane's advance. Employees at the security gate in the foreground have no idea what is happening behind them. 4 minutes later, Russell rolls the plane out of view. What happens next is off camera, but you can hear the confusion between the tower and other pilots as Russell gets the plane cutting in line for takeoff.
Aircraft on Charlie, lining up runway 16.
All right, so this is him talking to the guys in the tower right now. I don't know if this guy just wanted to fly a plane. I don't know if this guy just wanted to end his life. I don't know, understand exactly why he did this, but it's just pretty wild.
Center, say your call sign.
That aircraft was passing behind the horizon when he was taking off roll, and I don't know what he was doing.
I'm going to say aircraft on runway 16 center.
And then air traffic control hears from Russell for the first time.
Seattle ground, Horizon guy, about to take off. It's going to be crazy.
His wheels are smoking left and right as they are right now as he's rolling down the runway.
All right, I'm not even talking to him.
From several different surveillance cameras, you can see Russell and the plane take off smoothly.
He came flying out of the cargo area in front of Delta.
And there's just a single pilot in there.
He came flying out of nowhere. We didn't even hear. We thought we missed somebody.
Tower, you need to call and scramble now.
No, we are.
He's talking about scrambling the F-15s from Portland, which train.
So at this moment, if you're just joining, they have no clue what this plane's doing, obviously. So they're scramble, which means get these fighter jets in the air because, you know, after 9/11, you never know what the hell is going to happen. Again, and this guy's not a pilot. That stolen airplane. It's pretty wild.
Every day for hijackings and terrorist threats. It takes just 15 minutes for the F-15s to fly from Portland to Seattle using afterburners to go supersonic. As Russell flew erratically over Puget Sound, the F-15s flanked him.
He just needs some help controlling his aircraft.
Nah, I mean, I don't need that much help. I played some video games before.
See that right there? That guy just did a barrel roll in a big-ass airplane. So the guy at control says he just needs some help controlling this airplane. Russell, the dude that stole the airplane, says, nah, I mean, I don't need that much help. I played video games before. To me, that's mind-blowing that you can play a video game and be able to fly a plane. It's pretty crazy.
Air traffic control tried persuading Russell to land safely, including at nearby McCord Air Force Base. But he continued dangerous maneuvers before crashing into a small island 73 minutes after his unlikely liftoff.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this.
See, that's the sad part of this story, and that's why this all wraps into what we're doing here, you know? I got a lot of people that care about me. It's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. So this was his way to end his life, you know? It's crazy, right? It's to get in an airplane and just fly this airplane with no real skill, no schooling, no pilot school, no nothing. It's pretty wild. And yeah, I don't know why we got into that, but I wanted to share that with you guys. It's a pretty crazy story, you know. He ended up obviously dying, taking his own life. But he didn't hurt nobody. He would have made that very clear that he wasn't out to hurt nobody. So, Maria, how you doing? I seen your question here, man. I just want to finish that. Asking me anything, yeah. Why have I had a crazy busy week and feeling okay? Got to today and it just want to die. I hate my mind doing this to me. That's how the mind works. For some of us, you know. I'm glad you had an okay week. Why are you feeling down today? What has changed? Is it just your mindset? Is it something that happened that's making you feel down? Why aren't you in the same? Now, this is a tough question. You might not even the answer, but why is the mindset different? Because I can really relate to you, you know. Well, sometimes we don't know why we are depressed. Sometimes there's no reason to be depressed. That's why I don't think, you know, there's a friend of mine that once said, and this will always stick in my mind. And Harry, if you're listening, probably not, but he said when it comes to depression, you know, he's like, this is not going to be a, how do you say it? I don't know. When it comes to depression, right? Like, he's, you know, you say it's a choice, right? I don't think sometimes I don't think when we're depressed, we choose to feel that way, right? But I think we choose, and he said this and it made sense. I think we choose to stay depressed, all right? Person I tried to help for 6 months died last night. Sorry to hear that. What's GSW? Hanging in Marie, not alone. Yeah, for sure. But that really stuck with me. That really stuck with me when he said that to me. And I'll never forget that. Hopefully, when I see him again one day, I can let him know that. When you think about that, man, it's really eye-opening. Oh man. Okay. Sorry. I get it now. That's terrible. Yeah, sorry to hear that. That has happened to me as well before. I was trying to help some actually on this page, and actually I knew him personally. It wasn't the same way, but the same outcome. And that can fuck with you. But you got to remember, it's not your fault, right? Like the pastor once said at my Sean Platt's funeral, the reason I started this page, rest in peace, Sean. I told the story before, but I'll tell you again. It's another thing that was eye-opening. This is before I had this page, right? Obviously, it's at the funeral of Sean's, and he said, you know, if you're not there at that moment, you know, when you go to a funeral for suicide, it's kind of fucking weird, right? Because you're not supposed to be there, you know? This wasn't a natural death. This wasn't an accident. It's hard to explain, but he said, if you're not there at that moment, you know, what can you do? What can you do? So you can't beat yourself up. You're not there at that moment. You can't be with this person every waking moment, right? At the end of the day, they had a choice. Like we all have choices, right? And you can't beat yourself up about it. You did the best you could as a friend or a family, whatever you were to that person, their time on this earth, right? That's one thing you think about, you know, be proud of yourself for being the person you were. Be proud of yourself for trying to help another human being, right? We're all humans, right? We're all one. We all breathe the same fucking air. And if people realize that, we would be in a better place in society. But there's too many greedy people. People want everything, right? People want it all. You don't need all of it. Wouldn't it be, you know, people want it all, right? Why can't you just have a little bit of everything? If we all came together and you offered something and I offered something and he and she and them and they offered something, our neighbors, we each offered a little bit for each other, you know, be a better place to live, wouldn't it? I rely on you, you rely on me. Together, we're a happy family. I just don't understand why we can't live in a society like that, right? But instead of being like that, instead of being grateful and not greedy, we have to go to work every day, right? To make money, just to pay bills, to live in a house, and try to make it a home, and struggle. A lot of people struggle every day just to do that, right? How many people go to work and are happy every day? Not me. Especially when other people control your future, right? I just had this happen to me at work. Yeah. That's not how life's supposed to be, right? In my opinion, that's not how we're supposed to be. I'd rather live off the grid, right? I'd rather live in the woods than go to work another day of my life. I'll just work in the woods, right? Work on my own homestead. I don't know. I think we're all slaves to society. There's no arguing that, right? Work your whole life to retire to what? Die? Some deep shit, but I think about that shit daily. You know, I could retire at 56. People say, oh, that's young. How the fuck do you know it's young, right? My brother died at 47. Who's to say I'll even make it to my full retirement? Why do you got to work your whole life? We are slaves. Yeah, exactly. I wish more people would realize that, but they don't. They don't get it. We're not here to work for big corporations. That's not what this shit's all about, dude. In my eyes, and I think it should be that for everybody. I mean, this shit didn't exist years ago. I mean, there's still tribes that live off the land, right? There's still humans, not humans, there's other people, but I'm just thinking of tribe and then other people that live off the land. And I don't know, man, it's just a better way of life, in my opinion. Like you work to survive, but you're not working just to pay bills. You're working to eat and have shelter and have fire. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, anybody ever really think about that? I think about it quite often. Yeah, TJ. I agree with you. Does that make sense though? What I'm saying, like if I don't know, maybe a lot of people never. I mean, I think kind of deep about shit sometimes, well, all the time. But I just think it'd be a better life, like if you relied on like your neighbors, right, for certain things. You know what I mean? Like I said this before, but I'll just say it again. Like say I live in a neighborhood, right? You just say, but like want a piece of land, right? And it's me, TJ here. There's Maria, whatever. And there's like 5 of us, right? And I have chickens, right? So there's eggs and meat, and then TJ he does firewood, and then he makes wood. He makes like lumber out of the wood, and then Kara makes like has vegetables or maybe pigs or goats or whatever, you know, and then so on and so forth. So we rely on each other, right? Because you need firewood, I need vegetables, we need meat. So you rely on each other, right? So you're not going to do anything, no harm to me because you need what I have and I need what you have, right? So it's a community, right? So you rely on each other. You're not a slave to anybody. You live in honest and trust with each other. You know what I mean? So I trust you to provide for me just as well as you trust me to provide for you. You know, like that's what life's about to me. It's not out working for some rich fuck that don't give a shit about you. You're just a number, dude. We're just numbers in the society, and as long as the top people keep getting what they deserve, or what they not they don't deserve shit, keep getting what they want, we're not going to get nowhere. I don't understand why people don't understand that. So you think like that's why I'm against like I want less government. Um, why should I have to pay into something that I don't even use? Does that make sense? Like why should I have to pay school taxes? I don't even have any kids. I haven't been in school in 23 years. You know what I mean? Like why in the fuck do I have to pay school taxes? If I pay school, I should be able to go in that school and do whatever I want. Thus far, I'm working towards my ending lifetime by living off the grid. Yes, I love it. But in a small town, what's the band, Louisiana? There'll be a total of 6 of us. Not in the. Yeah, right. I understand. It's not a cult. No, it's a way of life. Yes, exactly, dude. I'm gonna tell you another thing about that. Like you're saying, I love the idea, and I hope. Yeah, amen to less government, right? Like, you know why so here's what let's just break this down for a minute. In my opinion, right? I could be totally wrong, but the government does certain things so people rely on them. Why do they rely on them? Because they can keep you at bay. What don't you understand? If you need me and I'm the government, right? I'm the government and a certain amount of people need me and rely on me. What's going to happen? You're going to keep doing what I tell you because you rely on what I give you. It's just that simple. If you rely on me, I'm going to dictate every movement you do because you don't want to screw up what I offer you or what I give you. I don't need that. I'm well capable of hard work and doing what I need to do to survive. That's why I say that. I just don't say that because I lean left or right. I'm done with all that shit too, right? It's about being a human, right? Exactly. Like, I get certain people are in certain situations where they need assistance and they need help, right? Because not everybody has a family, a wife, or a husband. Not everybody has that, right? Um, Not everybody grew up with parents. Not everybody. I get all that, right? And I get the fact that certain people were dealt different hands, right? So that does, bother me a little bit because what do you do with people like that? Like, it's not their fault in some cases, right? It's not the child's fault they grew up with no parents. You know what I mean? It's not the child's fault that they are now property of the government. Because then I think about this, right? I'm not just one mind, not one track mind. And then I think about it. Okay, so if a child grew up, me, I didn't have this problem, right? And thank God. But if a child grew up without parents, right? They go to the government or whatever. They go to the state. They're fucking a number to the state or however that works. So if you didn't have government, like what would happen to that child, right? So I think about all that shit. So you can't just fix a part of the problem, right? You got to fix the whole problem. So what would you do with a child like that if there was no government, right? If there's no one to take care of them, and I mean, it's a lot of that shit's shitty anyway, like orphans and shit. I'm sure that upbringing is horrible. I mean, who can you trust, right? Who can you trust? I mean, every day we realize there's more pedophiles in this world. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. Like, there's a story, now that I mentioned that, there's a story in my town right here where I live in, where there's an ex-cop that was investigating a rape, right, of this. I'm not sure in the age, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure she was underage, right? Under 18. And he was investigating it. And actually, he was investigating it as the cop, and he actually raped the girl as well. Now, the person you're supposed to rely on, being the cop, investigating this rape, is raping the victim. I mean, shit's crazy. People, it's fucking weird, man. I don't know, I'm going on a little rant, but who do you trust, man? There's not too many people I trust. There's not too many people that live in truth, right? Because when you bring up truth and your honesty, that's when you lose friends, right? But they're not your friends to begin with. If I can't be my true self around you, then I don't want nothing to do with you. You'll find out fast. This happened to me at work. You'll find out fast who your real friends are. Because when people don't benefit for something, they give two fucks about you. You'll realize that in life. I don't know where you're at in life, but you'll realize that when you stand up for what's right, and you'll find out real quick who the bitch is. You're right, man. I'll live on honesty and truth until the day I die, and if I have to die alone, then so be it, right? I'm a straight shooter, man. I for years of my life, I hid behind other people's feelings, and I never spoke up. It never was my true self. That will never happen again. I don't live in a fake world. I fucking, that will never happen. Needing prayers for my wife. It's hard. What's going on? Sorry, James. What's going on, man? My previous employment as a look, man. I don't want my friends to sugarcoat anything. If I'm out of line, if I'm being a dick, if I'm doing this, if I'm not being the best version of myself, I want to be told. Right? I don't want you to talk about me behind my fucking back. I don't want you, when I leave the room, say what you got to say about me. Say it to my face. And you should want the same. Right? How many times you've been in a room where you're talking about somebody and that person enters the room and what happens? The conversation stops. Well, obviously there's a problem with this individual. Maybe not with you, but maybe in their life. Right? Now you're a shitty friend for not addressing it. So it's okay to talk about this person when they're not in the room. But when they come in the room, like, now you don't care about this person. That's a shitty friend to me. So you can say all this shit behind this person. I'm not talking about talking shit. I'm talking about talking. If this person is going through something, maybe it's their relationship, maybe it's their own life issues, maybe whatever it is. Like, be a friend and see, I got friends that do that to me, right? And it's hard to accept. But so that's what truth is. Truth is hard to accept. So, I'm sorry to hear that, James. Whew, that's tough, buddy. Best of luck, man. One day at a time. You know, that cancer is a shitty thing, man. Not to be a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but there's a cure for cancer, man. There has to be. There has to be. It's a moneymaker. You can come up with some, you know, a couple years ago, you could have took this thing, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to mention it here. I don't know what's going to happen, but you could have took that, you know, and then you would have been safe, right? So supposedly safe. They're pissing me off when I think about it, right? Because when my brother was going through his cancer, that shit was, you know, going down, and you can come up with this, you know, solution in a couple months, but you mean to tell me all the billions and millions and trillions of fucking dollars that have been donated to cancer research, there's not a cure? Come on, man. They don't want to cure things, right? Because once you get a cure for something, it no longer exist, right? So when it don't exist, what happens? There's no money being made. You guys can call me crazy or whatever. I'm just telling you my true feelings about everything this morning. Oh man, James. Yeah, dude. Oh, sorry to hear that. Well, there you go. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. It's a sad thing, right? I mean, we can just think about this. You can go to the deepest part of the fucking ocean, right? But you can't cure cancer. You can supposedly go to the moon. You got a cell phone that can tell you where you're at. You got a cell phone that you can talk, like we could talk about eating hamburgers, and then you look on your phone and, you know, you don't have your phone, or you look on your phone, it's just full hamburgers, everything you scrolled through, you know. Come on, people. Oh, you wish you could call me crazy, but you're spot on. Yeah, man, this is just how I feel about life and society. I think if more people thought like this and didn't lean left or right, you know what I mean, when it comes to politics. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm more conservative, right? I believe in God, and I believe in morals. I believe in respect. I believe in everything that we were built on. And this is what this country was built. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in all the amendments, right? Freedom of speech. I agree with all that, right? No one's entitled to anything, right? I don't think anyone should get a handout. Well, I can't say anyone, because go back to the child that don't have, you know, that's a property of the state. So I have feelings for everybody, and everyone does matter, right? But I just think, I don't know, man. It's a fucked up world we live in. And living in the United States, there's what, 330 million people, and that's the best tool we got. I mean, other countries got to be laughing at us. Out of 330 fucking million people, that's the best 2 you got. That's all the better we can do. That's my 2 options when it comes to voting in November. That's my 2 options. Unfucking believable, right? Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if you just got here, but for sure. I mean, everyone struggles, right? But are you putting in the effort, right? Now, if you're putting in the effort and you're busting your ass, right, and you're still struggling, I have mad respect for you, right? Because you're still trying to make a difference. But sometimes people just have a bad break. Like, for example, okay, and I'm going to bring this down. Okay, so there's a lot of people that beg for money where I live. Not a lot, but, you get off the highway and shit, there's people standing there begging for money. Now, how can you disagree with what I'm about to say? You can't. You can't disagree with this. So listen, if you can stand in all types of weather, hot as shit, cold as shit, rain, snow, sleet, hail, wind, whatever, if you can stand there on the side of the fucking highway, right, in all weather conditions, begging for money, you can stand at a convenience store, run a cash register. You can stand at a Walmart and greet people. You can stand at a Burger King and McDonald's, at a Wendy's, run a cash register. There's so many places you can stand and make money rather than accepting somebody else to pay you. You get what I'm saying? If you can stand and accept money from people, you can do pretty much, there's plenty of jobs for you to do. That's where I draw the line, right? And then people are going to say, well, they have a place to shower. Do they have this? Do they have that? Do they have this? As you start to apply yourself, more things will come, right? Just like depressed state of mind. When you stay in a negative state of mind all your life and poor me, what you think things are going to get better when you have that kind of mindset? Every day you wake up, it's poor me, or I can't do this, or da-da-da-da. When you have that mindset, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to keep piling up, and nothing's going to fucking change, right? It's the cup half full or half empty. You know what I mean? It's perspective. Be happy you have a fucking cup, right? Be happy you have a cup to put something in it. And then once you realize having it half full is halfway to be full, completely full, right? You know what I mean? It's just, that's life. Yeah, man. If you're capable to stand there, what's up, O'Sullivan? How you been? Travis, that was a powerful statement you just made about the handout people to help. What's exactly the point, if you don't mind? Yeah, what part were you talking about? I don't know. I'm going to ramble. I don't know. I just appreciate having a place to express myself, right? And I'm very open to being criticized or having people disagree with me. Yeah, exactly. Like, I get it, right? Like, you just take mental health, for instance. Like you're saying there, being depressed. I mean, yeah, being depressed doesn't mean you're lazy, right? I know what it's like to be depressed. I know what it's like to be depressed for no reason. I know what it's like to come home from work every fucking day and not want to do nothing, right? Because you just had a shitty day at work, right? I know all that feelings, right? Maybe not to the level as you, right? Because we're all in this game, dealing with the same devils on different levels. You know what I mean? My depression might not even be as bad as yours. So I get it all. I look at everything when I think about this shit and I talk about it. I try to look at all aspects of life and people's situations. Because people matter to me, right? And for me to sit there and say, oh, you can't do this, I try to think of all of it, and maybe I do miss some things sometimes. But if it's 2024, man. And you take our grandfathers, dads, and mothers, look at the fucking options they had. right? They didn't have too many options, dude. You went to work, you came home, and your wife had dinner, right? You don't even have to leave your fucking house anymore to make money. If you can't make money in 2024, you're not fucking trying. I'm on a computer right now talking to people all over the world. And you can't make money? You can't find a way to make money. Here, I'll give you one. I'll give you one right here. If you're struggling to make money, I'll tell you how to do it. It's very simple. Go to Facebook Marketplace, right? You buy something for $10, right? Then you sell it on your local garage sale, right? For $11. But see, now you're going to say that's only $1, right? It's only $1. I ain't doing that for $1 because that $1 is going to lead to more and more and more. That's just one example. Buy something off eBay, right? And sell it on Marketplace. The person comes to your house. It gets delivered to your house from eBay, right? And then you sell it to somebody else that lives down the street for a couple more dollars. You can drop ship. You can do all kinds of there's all kinds of ways to make money in 2024. So if you're struggling, you're not trying hard enough. Maybe I do. That's a good question. I don't know. But how do I do? I mean, the second part here, how do you deal with random bursts of anger? Yeah, I have. I mean, you could tell the way I speak, right? When I get excited about something, I get very passionate. And yeah, I have bursts of anger and rage. Call it PTSD, call it trauma. I don't know what it is, but how do I deal with that? I've been trying to deal with that. It's a great question. I'm gonna tell you how you deal with it, because when you take that, when you have random outbursts of anger, right? For one, you're taking your anger out on somebody or something that don't deserve it, right? And this is easier said than done, right? But I love the question because I deal with the shit, and you got to realize first you got to stop and not let something that happened destroy your whole day, right? Or change your mindset or your attitude for the day. And I still struggle with that. Certain things will happen, right? And then it ruins your whole fucking day. Why? Let's just take, like, for example, I used to before. Let's say you're going to work and you get a flat tire, right? So you're pissed off, you're late, blah, blah, blah. My day's fucking ruined, yada, yada, yada. This is how I would react, right? And instead we could say, maybe I got this flat tire because I could have gotten in a fatal accident down the road. Or maybe I'm meant to be late for work. Okay? Flat tires happen. You know what I mean? It happens to everybody. You get a flat tire. It's not a big deal. You get it fixed. You know what I mean? You let work know, I got a flat tire. There's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? That's just one example right off the top of my head. So it's how we react to things. And it's very hard to control. But the way we react to things, it's very important in life. How much time have we lost being angry about shit that doesn't fucking matter? Just think about that for a minute. Think about how much time in your life you've lost worrying about things that don't fucking matter, or worrying about things that you cannot change, like the past, right? Or how many times have you wasted worrying? How much time have you wasted worrying about the future? Anxiety, right? Trying to predict what's going to happen when you get there, or whatever you're about to do. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a mindset, right? Like, believe me when I tell you this, it's not easy. This right here is not easy, what you say. And I get it, right? But I try to focus on that. And that comes from my wife, right? Like, my wife tells me, like, dude, like, what the fuck? Not in that terms, you know what I mean? But just like that. But you get what I'm saying. When you stay, and she's on my ass about that, and that's where that comes from. When you stay in a negative state of mind, not much is going to change, dude. Not much is going to fucking change, dude. Okay, so, like, for example, when I go to work, if I hate my job, or someone hates their job, be happy you have one, right? When you come home and you're pissed off, leave it at the front door. Like, when I'm pissed off at work, why do I, like, if I'm mad at work, why do I bring my attitude home to my wife? right? We have no kids, okay? But why would I bring? What the fuck did she do wrong? She has nothing to do with her. So why do we take our anger and pain out on people we love? You know, it's not their fault. They're not my boss. Like they have nothing to do with what happened at work. You know what I mean? That's it's very powerful shit, and it's hard to do. I'm not sitting here, and I'll never sit here and preach like, oh, what you gotta do is turn the switch off. You know, as soon as you open the door handle, just let it all go. It don't work like that. But it's a process, right? Hard work does pay off in any situation. But you gotta be willing to understand. Once you realize life is bigger than, you know, just you, it becomes more meaningful, right? Like if you lived life every day like it was your last day, what would you do different? It's powerful, man. But see, we don't live life like that. We don't live life like tomorrow's our last day, right? Or we don't live that way. We live like, oh, there's always tomorrow, right? I'm not going to do this today because I have tomorrow. You know, an old farmer I worked for when I was like 11 years old, he always told me, don't put off today. Don't put off what you can do today for tomorrow, right? And that always stuck with me for fucking 30 years. Never put off today what you can do today for tomorrow, because tomorrow might never come. Do I still put shit off? Of course. But if we lived every day like it was our last, think how much more you would accomplish. Think how many more grudges you wouldn't hold. Think how many more things you would do different. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Exactly. You know, we take things for granted, you know, like even though you bust your ass, right? Like I said, everyone's different, man. Everyone's on different levels in this game of life. Everyone's success is measured differently. You might be happy working 40 hours a week, making the money you make, and you might be happy with it, and that's amazing, right? But not everyone's happy with that. Not everybody wants that. Not everybody is not motivated to even work 40 hours a week. But just be happy with, you know, you're breathing air. I mean, we could go right back up here to right here. I mean, look at James, dude. Like, it's fucking heartbreaking, right? So you never know, man. I appreciate you all listening to me this morning, though. It's a nice. That's why I like doing these things, man, because it's like my therapy, you know. Like, hopefully it helps somebody else. But I just appreciate people's opinions and, you know, listen to me rant, I guess. It's better for me, you know, to get off my chest, you know, like anybody, you know. That's what they'll tell you when you go to therapy, counseling. Let it out, man. I hate to have to leave. Found my obligations to the one I lost last night. No, that's fine, man. Yeah, I appreciate you. Best of luck to you. I'm going to end this anyway soon. I got some things I got to do today as well. But I appreciate you guys, man. Best of luck to everybody that shared their story, that is going through something. Just remember, you know, it can always be worse, and it can always be better. Remember, all things come to an end, good or bad. So when you're having that good time, right, and you're always like, you know, when you're having a blast, right? Time flies when you're having fun, right? Time slows down when you're depressed and shit. So just remember, everything comes to an end, happy or sad. Everything ends. So if you're having fun, enjoy it, because it's going to come to an end. If you're depressed, just always remember it's going to come to an end, right? They all end. Just when it's up to you, right? It's up to you when the depression ends. You know, I really do believe that. You know, we can stay in the depressed state, or we can choose to get outside and, you know, take a walk, read a book, whatever it takes for you to get better. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built overnight. Great things take time. Remember that, and don't be so hard on yourself. Have a blessed Saturday. I'll check you out, man. I appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. Take care of yourself. Remember, you matter.